What is up, players and playettes? Another video. It took a while to get out. It's due to me being lazy and forgetting. I'm a bum. But there have been some new developments in life. I got a cat now. Pretty great. He's kind of a brat though. So, started with leg curls today just because there was someone on the leg extension machine. I like starting with leg extensions because I like how they feel before doing a squat pattern. Helps my knees feel more comfortable. Although I can't go too heavy with leg extensions because when I try and go for 4 to 6 reps with a heavier weight, it just makes it, my knee doesn't feel so good. So going from 6 to 12, even though I would prefer to do lower reps, higher weight, but 6 to 12 just makes my joints feel a bit better. But I'm still pushing myself hard. At least it feels that way in the moment, you know. So I believe I got 11 reps. I'm not counting right now because there's a little thing in the way, so I can't even see. I'll count on the next set. We'll count together. But I would recommend having your leg extensions before squats if you've noticed that squats sometimes feel a bit iffy on your knees. It helps me. Maybe it'll help you. Try it out. Plus, don't worry about it being taxing, like you're not going to be able to perform as well before the set of squats. If that's the case, then your programming sucks. It's not the leg extension's fault. All right, let's count. 1. 2. I can't wait for this next one. Can't wait for it. 3. 4. 5. 6. Come on, 7. And could he be doing these any slower? What an idiot. 8. I think. Maybe I missed a number. 9. 10. 11. Yeah, it was 11 with like a rep or 2 in the tank. And that's something I personally need to get better at, is making myself more comfortable mentally for the sets. So I want less to be taking up my mental capacity, so my perception of effort will be lower. When there's more thinking about, like you're more stressed, and there's more going on around you, you just got some bad news and you're still thinking about that, or you're thinking about how you might look, for example. It makes it harder to fully commit to the set. And here I got 3 reps with what I'm going to say is 1 in the tank. That's me being optimistic. It could have just been 0 in the tank. It could very well have been 0 in the tank. Now here, might look kind of uncomfortable, you might look like the dumbbell's kind of iffy on my wrist, but it felt fine. It feels fine. I like to keep my elbows tucked because it biases the upper chest better than if your elbows are flared. Now here I switched back to a rowing machine because I switched to doing dumbbell rows for a little bit because I trained at 2 different gyms for a while. And so I wanted to be able to do an exercise that carries over from both gyms because they don't have the same machines. But I have a job now, and so since I'm always going to be coming into the same town for that job, I figured I won't have to worry about not being able to work out at the right gym. So I went back to these just because it's more comfortable. I like how it feels more. I like having the chest support instead of using a bench for chest support. It feels much better. Easier to load too. It's more comfortable. I did not count. I got to do better remembering the numbers that I got. That's my bad. Sorry about that. Now here, still doing 100 pounds for 8 reps. I'm probably going to move. I'm probably going to up the weight next session. Something I do quite often is I forgot to move change the weight for my warm-up sets. I do that a lot. Or like when doing Smith machine overhead press, I'll forget to take a plate off, so I'll have a 35 on one side and then a 35 and a 10 on the other side because I meant to move it. So that, my bad, but 8 with like a rep in the tank. And remember, you save the rep in the tank, so it's less fatiguing, it's easier to recover from, not going to be as sore, and it's still just as stimulating. You're still getting just as much thirsty, sorry. You're still getting just as much stimulation from it. And I did about the same, maybe another rep in the tank on my right side. My right side for my chest is a little bit stronger. Now here, if you're going to do the single arm chest flies, it is important to brace on something, like how I am with my left arm in this video. It helps make the activity more stable, and so that way you don't have to think about your body just twisting to where the weight is. If you're not doing that, then what are you doing, man? What are you doing? Just makes no sense. You gotta brace yourself. I gotta keep looking around to make sure my cat's not doing anything. Normally I would be playing with him right now, but since I'm doing this, I can't play with him. And playing with him is like the only way to stop him from doing some fuck shit. And on to the next movement though. So here, the same thing I said about rows. I switched to doing a Kelso shrug on a machine because it's easier to load, more comfortable. Because when you Kelso shrugs, you're strong on Kelso shrugs. You know, your traps are probably pretty strong. So doing a dumbbell Kelso shrug with a bench as chest support, it's hard to load that comfortably. You know, getting in and out of it, you kind of have to do an RDL to get in and out of it. And that's just not fun. It's hard to do comfortably for a long period of time and to progress fully. Or not fully, to progress for a long time. Because once it starts getting really heavy, like let's say you start doing Kelso shrugs with 100-pound dumbbells, that's rough. Now I do think next session I will lower the weight a little bit, because I noticed I wasn't exactly feeling it how I wanted to, you know. I like feeling like I'm fully pulling it back, you know, fully having my shoulder blades touch each other. So I will lower the weight a little bit, maybe just take the 5-pound plates I had off, maybe put a 2.5 on each side, or just leave them off. I don't know yet. We'll see. And then here, this is tricep extensions. I tried doing it with like a more supinated grip, which might be better if I did like one of those Bluetooth T-handle things. I'm not sure if I want to do that though, but I liked how it felt. I like having the supination because, hold on, sorry about that. For some reason my cat was trying to eat a loose nail clipping, so I had to stop him. So I liked how it felt because with a supinated grip, it's easier to keep your elbow from flaring out. You know, when you're trying to really do some heavy load with the push down, your elbow can go out. This helps it stay in more easily without you having to think about it as much. Now, I did do other tricep movements. I just forgot to record them. My bad. I'll try and do better about that. Now these. Ignore the thought in your mind about someone thinking, oh, look at this guy taking up the pull-down machine to do curls. What an idiot. Just try it out. It feels pretty nice. If you don't like it, you don't got to do it. What I do to help with the little pin hurting my back, making it less comfortable when I lean back, is I grab one of the communal towels that the gym has and put it on it. You know, fold it up so it kind of is like a little cushion. That helps pretty good. Now these just feel great, you know. It's one thing I like when doing curls is having my elbow braced on something so that way I don't have to worry about dragging my elbow up as I curl. This is a great way to do that. Or you can preacher curls, it's the same thing. But what I'm going to start doing is pairing these with a preacher curl, you know, a set of each, because they bias your elbow flexors differently. The incline curl will help bias the bicep better, while the preacher curl will help bias the brachialis a bit better. So I think instead of choosing one or the other, it's probably a good idea to choose both. But you can choose one or the other if you want. It's up to you. Now this was my first time adding the preacher curls in a little bit, so I have lost some strength just because I haven't done them in a little while. but overall they were still just as good as I remember. Now here, overhead behind the neck, Smith machine, press. One of my favorite exercises. Hits both your front delts and your side delts very well. If you get confused when I say side delts, just pay attention to my upper arm. See how it goes into my side, then up. It's the same movement of a lateral raise, as you'll see in a little bit. Now, if you want shoulder mobility like I have, like I'm getting pretty deep there, you see, not to brag or anything. Just do the same movement, but go as deep as you can. Maybe it's not that deep, but go as deep as you can comfortably. Maybe a little bit uncomfortably, but just don't hurt yourself. And then progress that over time. Eventually you'll get there. You'll most likely get there as long as you're smart with it. Now here, I forgot to take the attachment off. I put the one I wanted on before I first started recording. It's my bad. The one that was on the machine was a mag grip, which I find those kind of stupid. I mean, if they're just your preferred modality of gripping and pulling, then it's up to you. It's your prerogative. But I think they're pretty silly. It just makes more sense to use a bar that you can wrap straps around, because it just makes so much sense to use straps. Your forearms will still get stronger when using straps, but if you're that worried about your forearms not getting stronger, just train your forearms. Just train them. It's that simple. Because your back is going to be stronger than your forearms unless you're some kind of arm wrestling freak of nature. Now these, I try and keep myself upright. I don't like the swinging around or leaning back. I like trying to keep it in the frontal plane as much as possible, staying upright, and keeping my elbows straight to my side. Now these pretty much always feel good. But I do get kind of a little worried about looking a little weird on the way up. Now RDLs, I normally would do these more at the beginning of my session, but I'm going to try having them at the end of the session for a little bit, see how I like that. Now these, something I noticed a little bit ago when I recorded them was I wasn't exactly pausing in that stretch position. I was probably letting the stretch reflex carry me a bit through the reps. So something I've been trying to make a active effort to do is take a second in that stretch position, then go up. And when doing these, it's important to learn how to brace your core. It's not as hard as it might sound. Bracing your core is very easy, but if you can't properly brace your core, then you could just do like a machine back extension, something like that. Just because if you can't brace your core, you're more likely, or brace your core properly, you're more likely to injure yourself. So don't be stupid and actually take the time to work on your technique if you want to do something like this. That's not to say it's the hardest thing in the world. Like, I don't want it to sound like, oh yeah, I'm a master at this. This is such a hard, crazy activity. It's not. It's really not. But by doing movements, you will get better and improve your technique, and it will get easier to do. Here, I don't have that good of ankle mobility, sadly. I am working on it by doing calf press real deep. Really milking that stretch on the calf press. Did not record it. My bad. Sue me. So I just go as deep as I can without my back rounding too much off the pad. So even though it might not look like I'm getting super deep, it feels like I'm getting deep to me, and it feels good. Now I'm trying to get deeper as I go, as I progress. So we'll see. Now, but these always feel good. I like wearing knee sleeves when I do them, just because it makes my knees feel more comfortable. Makes me worry less about my knee going into a flamingo kind of thing while I do these. We've all seen the gruesome videos. You've all seen them. If you haven't seen them, you're lucky, but you probably have. So the knee sleeves help me feel a bit less worried about that happening to me. Of course, that's not to say I'm lifting some crazy weight. It's just there's always that fear no matter what. Especially me, because I have had knee issues in the past. Now, lateral raises, like I mentioned with the overhead press on the Smith machine. Okay, maybe you can't see it here, but pay attention to my upper arm. It's pretty much the same thing. There are some differences, but it's overall the same movement. It's both arm. It's what's the right word here? Can't think of it right now. But you get it. Both these feel great. I like to try and stop the rep in the once my arm goes parallel to the floor. To me, that feels best, and since I'm doing the overhead press, I don't feel a reason to go like super high, have a super crazy range of motion. Now, I kind of ate my words because I did just go a bit above parallel there, but that could be the angle of the camera, or I'm just a fool. But overall, these feel good. I like bracing my, you see how I have my arm on that pole, helps me brace a bit more, so I don't have to worry about the weight pulling me to the side. Even if it's not the heaviest weight, it still helps it feel more stable, which means lowers my perception of effort, which means I can go harder for longer. Now, I mentioned training, whoops. That's the second time I've done that, I believe, in this recording. I mentioned forearm training earlier. This is one of my favorite ways to train my forearms, which is finger flexion or gripping something. I like to get a cable, set it low, and then use one of the bar attachments. Have my hands, decently far apart, and then I just let it pull my fingers apart, and then curl them in. It's pretty simple. Now, it is most likely not the best forearm, like the most optimal forearm exercise, but I enjoy it. I still would recommend doing extension and wrist extension and flexion. That just makes more sense, and I do that. I do it mostly to help with my wrist mobility. Don't my wrists not hurt as much when extended or flexed. But hopefully this video helps you in some way. Bye.